warm on Thursday, the high 88 to 91. Sunshine, nice day on Friday, the high 77 to 83. Partly sunny with a shower on Saturday, the high Saturday 76 to 81. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Steve Williams.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. Auto repair with personal care. See, I got it right now. I got it down, pal.
You got it now.
I got it down. Matt Gibbs joins us. Matt, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
A little better than you because my headset's working. Is that headset working for you now? Is that better?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
We got some volumes.
So it's been 3 weeks since we've been together.
I know.
2 weeks ago, you were covered up. Last week, I was down for a 10 count.
Well, I just happened to be walking down the hallway, and your fiance pulls in and says, Tom's not going to be there this morning. I'm like, I was under my breath. I was like, hallelujah, because I am slammed.
You were busy. You've been busy. Yeah, she went out of her way above and beyond. She called Carol Ann, made sure she got in touch with Carol Ann. She went and stopped at your shop and told you.
Yep. Yeah, she sure did.
We called the Martones, but neither one of them ever checked their phone.
Yeah, you know how these executive
big wigs.
Big wigs. You know how they are.
He needs a wig. He can't hear us. He never listens. No. Joe Martone never listens to the show. We're good. And if he does listen to the show, I'm just going to say it was your fault anyway. It's your show. Sunrise,
It is.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Joe, it's my fault, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So right now, springtime, a lot of the snowbirds getting prepared to go back up north. You seeing an influx of people coming in, getting their cars ready for the summer?
Actually, we're seeing. I think we're going to see a little change this year. I think we're going to start seeing the snowbirds either staying longer or not even going back right now. Because what are going to a lot of
these folks? What are you going back to the pandemic? You shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're from New York, what are you going back to?
That's right. You're going to go back into staying in your house?
Yeah, you're going to go back sitting in your living room having to look at your wife. I mean, your husband. I mean, you know what I mean.
So I think, because I know quite a few because we have a lot of customers, and they're like, nah, we're going to hang out a little bit longer this year.
You know why? Because we have a governor that rocks.
That's right.
That's why.
That's right.
We have a governor that actually listens to his constituents and understands that this pandemic, the shutdown could have done more damage than the virus.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Isn't that great to have a governor that's smart?
It's man, we are blessed. We're blessed beyond our understanding.
To live in a state where, somebody put a meme out this weekend. It had what's going on in your state, and it had two people in hazmat suits, and they were out, shaking hands with each other dressed in hazmat. We better not stay out too long. And it goes, meanwhile, in Florida, and it was the governor drinking the Budweiser at Bike Week.
There you go.
So, and I know we talk about cars and all, but you also have a little political side to you.
Yeah.
When you see things that you think need to be talked about.
We talk about them.
And I know that, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think this governor was going to be that good. I was 100% wrong.
Yeah. In the beginning, he was kind of quiet, and you didn't hear much of him.
And then he said, time to go.
That's it. Put on our big boy pants and let's get this thing going.
Kind of like he was at the Daytona 500, and he just was back there in the middle of the pack just driving.
Yep.
And then somebody said, hey, 20 laps to go. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, no, we are so, because I have so many customers that are from up north and stuff like that, and what it's I could not
No, there ain't no way I could.
There's no way.
Nope. No,
So-
some of the restrictions you're facing, and I mean some of the restrictions you're facing just in states that aren't very far from us.
That's right.
You know, this isn't a New York, California thing.
No.
There's a lot of people that are experiencing a lot worse than what we got going on in Florida.
My youngest daughter, is getting married in May, and the original, it was like a destination type wedding. They're kind of eloping with family. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. They're going to go. They want to go to North Carolina, go to the mountains, and get married. And you know what? Because of all the stuff that's going on in North Carolina, we chose to go to Tennessee.
I was going for my 55th birthday, which is in July. I was having a big group of my buddies. There was like 12 of us going to Vegas, taking our girlfriends, fiancés, and wives, and going to Vegas for my 55th. And so we called, look at the airlines and everything. Then we start reading the fine print and talking to the airlines. And they're like, well, if for some reason, we don't foresee it happening, but if for some reason you can't get on an airplane, we will give you a voucher to use at another time. And I go, whoa, what if I want my money back? No, we don't give you money back. You can have a voucher to fly with us. No, I want my money back. They said no. We've decided we're going to stay in Florida and do the birthday somewhere here in Florida.
Yep.
Because it just makes more sense than to go elsewhere. We know what's going on in Florida. That, like people, because you have customers from up north and all that are deciding to stay in Florida.
Right.
Because at least they know what's going on in Florida.
That's right. No, my wife, we're actually, we have plenty of vouchers. Because we made a trip that kind of got all messed up, and they
didn't give you money back.
You got vouchers.
I'm
And then they're only good for a year. Do you understand that this month, it's been a year since this thing, we've been going through this for a year?
Tomorrow, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, is when the governor a year ago came on and said, we're closing.
Right.
It was St. Patrick's Day. As of 5 p.m. today, the state of Florida will close. That happened a year ago tomorrow. And people, it's been a trying year. And we've been blessed to be in Florida that was really a trying 10 weeks, 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Because he kept us closed about 12 weeks, 10, 11, 12 weeks.
I never really, I was fortunate enough never to really have to be closed. 'Cause
Well, you
we
were an essential business.
Right. But we did, we were open, but we weren't doing a whole lot because of all these other folk, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people weren't going out and about.
We were taking care of the doctors and the vets and the law enforcements and the contractors and the stuff, all the people that take care of people kind of stuff. But, it was definitely different.
Well, I got lucky that this is an essential business because you're giving out news.
Right.
And so at the time I was doing a show on Facebook called Common Sense with Tom Schmitz, but it was listed as a media thing. So I was able to, through the media correlation, keep
going.
doing that. But, my friends of mine that were in the hospitality business and in the restaurant and service industry got decimated.
Yeah.
Decimated. And a lot, I found out a lot of my friends that are in the car business didn't do very well either because people they didn't know what was going to happen to the economy and everything. So sales dried up and everything.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of the preventative stuff that people regularly come in for you to do dried up as well because they were like, we don't know whether right now $100 oil change, and we don't know if that $100 is going to be needed because we don't know how long we're going to stay closed.
That's right. No, I get it. My daughter is a server, and so it was awful.
Yeah, it was not good.
It was awful.
It was not good. But you stayed open.
Yeah, we did.
You were able to keep your head above water.
Yes, we
By
did.
the way, quite a few mechanics shops and all closed because they weren't able to keep their head above water.
We talking with a guy yesterday that basically has closed down, and he's probably not going to reopen. So we're actually looking at maybe going in and buying his equipment and stuff like that. So we're actually doing an expansion at Sunrise. We're expanding.
Yeah. People think that it was only the service and hospitality industry, but the auto repair shop is the service industry.
Yeah.
And some auto repair shops that might not be as blessed as yours, might not be as well established as yours.
Right.
You know, they suffered in this as well.
Well, look at I hate to look at the mall.
Look at the mall. That's all you got to see.
I mean, if the mall was closed for how long? Thank God. Thank God your door's on the outside.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. 3 months. I think 4 months.
You know, banking, but the banks and they're not. You know, so
There's still some banks that won't let you in the lobby right now.
You know what's crazy? Here's something that's crazy. Let me just punch this up on I monitor this. I don't know why, but I do. So as of right now, as it loads up, we're at $34 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
And we just added another $2 trillion to it just this last week.
Okay, it's only 1.9.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wait a minute. It's $2 trillion now.
Yeah. But if you're a farmer, you can get your debt paid off in full. Oh, wait. If you're an African American, Asian, Hispanic, or Native American farmer, if you're a white farmer, you can't get it paid off. You can't get. That's a true story.
Yeah.
Stimulus bill pays off minority farms' debt.
Huh.
But if you're a white farmer, sorry about your luck. Pay your damn bills.
Yeah. It's all crazy.
Yeah, it's racist, is what it is. But that's beside the point. I'll get fired up again like I was last week about this. Don't get me started. So, but you are covered up right now. You're here by the grace of God, but you really shouldn't be here. You should be working.
I should be working. Yeah. It's crazy.
Tell what's the most? Is it air conditions right now? Are they coming in to get serviced?
It's
recharged.
Everything. You name it, we got a car in there that we're dealing with it.
Let me ask you this question because it comes up a lot. When you go to recharge an air conditioner,
yep.
What is your responsibility as a auto shop owner to the confines of leaks and stuff like that? Because I know that some guys say, not my problem. I just fill it up, recharge it, and if it's leaking, that's on the car owner. Are there laws or regulations that you have to abide by, or is it just something we recharge it? If it's leaking, that's on them.
There are laws that we are regulated by, especially now, because now there's new refrigerant. There's 1234YF. So which means I had to go get certified so that we could buy it, service it. And back in the day when we went from R12 to 134, we had to get certified. And
R12 was the stuff they say is horrible for everybody.
Yeah, well, the R12 is what they say is floats up and destroys the ozone.
Right.
And gets in the atmosphere. So then they came out 134. Now they came out 1234. But yes. So what we do, and you know, most of the guys that we deal with, most of the reputable guys, they're conscientious about this stuff. You know, back in the day, we used to dump coolant down the drain, oil out in the back. You know,
oh yeah, I remember coolant went right down the drain in my dad's blue bay. Down the drain.
We just didn't know any better, you know. But now, we catch everything. Everything is, you come to our shop, this is for oil, this is for coolant, this is for other contaminants, this is for acetone
and people come
stuff.
pick it up for you.
And they cost.
Right.
You know, it costs money to get that.
Well, that's what people don't understand. That $6.99 or $7.99 shop fee.
It covers
the charges that people have to come get all that liquid from you and stuff like that.
Every tire and battery that we sell.
Yeah, because there's an amnesty, by the way, for tires coming up for the city. But the city was quick to say, retail repair shops not allowed.
Well, there's a hazardous waste tax. So every battery and tire I install, I have to pay a tax on. Then I have to pay to have it disposed properly. So on every single one of them.
Right.
So
and that gets passed on to the consumer, as it should, by the way. It's their battery.
That's part of the shop supplies.
Right.
That's shop cost. But as far as air conditioning goes, so we look real close. If one comes in, let's say it's low on Freon, typically the Freon's leaking out somewhere, so we look at real close. See if we see any oil anywhere.
Right.
I got electronic sniffer. We fire up the sniffer. Try to see if we pick up any kind of leak. If we don't find anything, if there's nothing obvious, then what we'll do is we'll do a partial charge and we'll add dye to it. And then what the dye does,
it'll come out of wherever the leak is.
It's going to come out whatever. Now it comes out glowing.
Right, so you can see it.
And then we go through a test. So basically, what we'll do is we'll charge up the system. We charge you a fee to charge it up, check it all out, and we let you go. If it starts getting warm within 30 days or so, you bring it back. Now we'll go through the black light before we put any more Freon in the system, and we'll try to find a leak that way. If we discover where the leak is, then I'll give you the price on what it is to fix it. And we don't charge again for the Freon unless it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, because that stuff is just stupid expensive.
We'll come back to this conversation after the caller. Good morning, you're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Say, Matt, with all that bad oil from the oil changes that they pick up, what do they do with it? Can they reprocess that and make it good again, or what happens to it?
I've never really asked a guy. We've talked a little bit about it. Sometimes they sell it. They sell it to like home heating oils, or there's companies that want to buy and they have a need for the old motor oil, so they probably process it and do something else with it. But I know that there's heaters out there that actually, I could buy a heater for my shop that I could actually just put the old motor oil in and use the heater, but it just doesn't get cold enough down here, and they're pretty expensive heaters. But I think that they're used a lot for home heating and stuff like that. They're reprocessed. Now, it's crazy because in my world, the price of crude oil, the barrel, the higher the price of crude, then the oil, the guys that come and pick up my waste oil, they'll start paying me money for my oil.
Oh,
but when the price is way down,
you have to pay them.
I have to pay them.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call, Hugh.
Okay, take care, guys.
Yeah, that was a good question, because I don't know what they do with the oil nowadays, but I know what they do with cooking oil.
Yeah.
I knew they refurbish that.
Yeah, we can use
people
that
put that in diesel. Yeah, exactly. They use it in diesel. I never understood, though, diesel's a byproduct of gasoline.
I know.
When they make gasoline, the leftover is diesel.
Right.
And yet it costs more than gasoline.
Right.
It makes no sense to me, but I know why it is. Supply and demand, trucks that transport stuff need diesel. I understand why they do it. It just makes no sense to me. You're not paying anything to make diesel. It's the after effect of making gasoline.
And kerosene.
You're not paying anything to make diesel. It's the leftovers.
Well, we're old enough, Tom, to remember when we had leaded gas and unleaded gas.
Oh, yeah.
So when unleaded gas started coming out, and we had both, okay, and unleaded gas was way more than leaded gas.
Way more.
But they have to add the lead to the unleaded gas to make it leaded.
Right. The leaded gas had lead added to it.
Right.
It was already unleaded gas.
That's right.
Exactly. People don't understand that. It was already unleaded gas. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
You're on to Matt. This is Sonny calling.
Hey, Sonny.
Years ago, you could get unleaded gas. It was called Amoco. They always advertised there was no lead in our gas, and the octanes were always a little bit higher on the Amoco, and there was never any knocking or whatever. And the engines, at least the engines of my cars, when I picked up Amoco, but it was always a little more expensive. But to me, it was worth it, and that's one thing there. The other thing is with the oils and stuff. I can remember years ago, I worked for a utility, and we used to go down to places in Brooklyn where they had, which is part of Queens, New York, Brooklyn, but we had passed these places where they took the oil, and it was old hemp mooring lines. That's when you could buy hemp mooring lines. That's what they called it. It was made from the hemp plant. And they would drop them over from one 55-gallon drum to another one, but the one on the on the bottom, and they put the bad oil on top, and it would like siphon through the hemp down into the next tank or 55-gallon drum, and would leave almost all the solid impurities in the first tank, and that was it was called Fox something or other oil. You could buy it, and it used to be like, 25 cents a quart and 50 cents a quart. And I remember using that stuff in my car to help top off the oil. Because cars sort of burned oil back then. But anyway, times do change, that's for sure.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for the call, Sonny. Thanks for the call. Times do change. He's right about that. Times change, and the way we do things change.
Yep.
That's true with how you do air conditions and everything.
Yep.
I want to get back to the air conditioning for a minute because I had my system charged about 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's a little low, not much, and it doesn't take much for it to be low for the
Right.
for
They
the
don't hold a whole lot now
right
anymore.
Exactly. So it was low. It was recharged. 2 summers ago, it was fine. Last summer, it was fine. Now I notice it takes a little longer to get cool. Does that necessarily mean there's a leak? Because it's been 2 years, or is that just normal usage and everything? Is that something you should do every year? Should you get it serviced every 2 years? What's the rule of thumb?
Well, here's what I tell folks all the time. If it's blowing cold, just leave it alone. When it's not blowing cold, let's take a look
Well,
at
it's
it.
blowing cold, but it takes a little longer for it to get up to that.
You're seeing it irregular. There's something different.
Right, yes.
Now, the cabin air filter, always check the cabin air filter.
That may be the problem.
And it may be affecting airflow going through the evaporator that can cause, maybe an issue there.
Right.
But as far as the refrigerant, it's going to seep out eventually. Everything has a tolerance. So if we change your oil today, the GM says for that car, it is within tolerance. It's tolerable for you to go 1,000 miles with a quart of oil. There's nothing wrong with the car. You might not like it, but there is that threshold. Same thing with refrigerant. Mm-hmm. Let's say back in the day, you're allowed to leak a half a pound a year.
Right.
When a system would hold 2 to 3 pounds of Freon.
But it doesn't hold that much anymore.
Not anymore. So maybe it could be a pound or a half a pound every 3 years because of the new style hoses, the way that they crimp things, the way they seal things. So they've done a lot better job of containing the Freon. I remember back in the day, man, I used to sit out there with a hacksaw and cut the old the press band on them.
Oh, yeah.
And then replace just the hose with hose clamps,
Oh, my dad, I watched my dad numerous times. He'd just take a hacksaw, saw it off, then he'd put the hose on there, put the C-clamps on there. Not C-clamps, but
the hose
clamps.
Yeah, with a little arm, so you always put it down to say.
It'd tighten it, and it'd pull it, And
Man, you ain't doing that no more.
He'd ride on out.
But so there is a tolerance. There's a tolerance where you're going to lose some refrigerant, and that's normal. So the new, I don't see where the new 1, 2, 3, 4 YF. Now here's the thing: when I buy Freon, I buy it in a 30-pound cylinder. The new Freon for these new cars, I buy in a 10-pound cylinder. 30-pound cylinder, $99. 10-pound cylinder, $1,000. Feel what I'm saying? 30 pounds for
Hold on.
30 pounds.
3 times as much for 10 times less.
And I'm at 30 pounds?
Let me let this sink in. 3 times as much for 10 times less money. That's a racket right there, brother.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
No, you pay. It's kind of like, the guy the company that had the pills that help with HIV, and then he realized it's, people had to have them, so he went from them being $10 a pill to $1,400 a pill.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And in Florida, the one thing you have to have in your car
is air conditioning.
You have a motor that doesn't work very good, but your air conditioner better run.
This is a true story. So we had to put an engine in. We're going to do this real quick.
Seconds.
We had to put an engine in a Chrysler product with the new refrigerant. It was cheaper for me to take the fender off the car than it was to recharge the air conditioner to get the engine out of the car. So if we took the fender off, we could move the air conditioner line to get the engine out.
It was cheaper to do that than it was
to charge up the air conditioner.
Matt, where can they find you?
You can give me a call at 690-1993 or come by and see me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street, right here in Ocala.
Matt Gibbs, Sunrise Auto repair with personal care. From Sunrise Auto. Talk to you next week, Matt.
Thank you.
Be right back after this timeout.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
We're a very economically depressed community. We can barely afford to take care of the people that we have here,